All right, this is Patrick Rogers, and today we have the privilege to have Tim Blaisdell on the show. And Tim is the CEO of Pith Products. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. So, a little background on Tim. He got his Bachelor of Arts at Ithaca College in upstate New York, then went on to MIT for continuing education classes, business strategy, then on to my alma mater, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in wonderful Troy, New York, for his Master's of Science in Management, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. Before taking on the role of CEO just here recently in mid 2023. Congratulations on that, by the way, Tim.
Thank
Uh,
you.
he had spent most of his career focused in the aerospace industry, has vast experiences ranging from managing director of international business at Pratt Whitney, mergers and acquisitions, to a number of other C-level executive positions at some very well-known other aerospace companies. Tim now leads all Pith Products business operations to guide company towards sustainable growth practices, responsible for EBITDA improvement, driving revenue through strategic leadership, process improvement, gained efficiencies, works on implementing strategic partnerships, new marketing campaigns, and additional sales channels to drive top line growth. So, Tim, very impressive resume. I can't wait to dive in to talk about what has really helped you be successful in your career and as a leader and a manager. Before we do that, though, what's one interesting fact about yourself that not many people know?
Um, I love to cook. You know what? It's probably my mother taught me, the love of cooking, and that's sort of how I relax. So I cook a
Oh,
lot.
wow.
How's that?
Okay. Do you cook more than your wife?
Uh, Much more.
Much
Probably
more. Okay.
six days a week and or 5 days and go out too. How's that? Not much
Okay.
cooking done by my wife.
Okay. Well, hey, if you love it and she's good with it, right? So when you say cook, it's like actually in the kitchen cooking, not just what most men enjoy doing, which is typically, which
The
is
grill.
barbecue. Yeah, the grill.
Yeah. No, it's more than that. I do like making the sides and putting things together and having a nice bottle of wine or something with it and a little bit of everything.
Right on, man. That's awesome that you take enjoyment in that. What is your wife's favorite dish that you cook?
As I said, all of them because she doesn't want to cook, so that part works. But she's actually pretty game for anything. When I was at Pratt, I ran the Far East for a while, so I
Uh-huh.
do a lot of Asian cooking. As a
Oh,
matter of
wow.
fact, we had bulgogi last night, so it was
Okay.
fun.
So you were doing a lot of traveling then to the east, and so you picked up on a lot of the culture and
You got it.
very cool. Awesome. So great. Well, let's dive into a little bit more of your journey and well, first let's start off. What does Pith do? Tell us more about Pith.
PITH and the PITH stands for Protective Innovative Tool Housings. We make uh, anything that makes your lean manufacturing line better. We make storage for the tools. FOD, foreign object debris, is a big deal in the aerospace world.
Right.
So you need to know where your parts, your tools, and all of that equipment is at all times, and you don't want superfluous material around.
Right.
So we make shadow boards that hold just the tools. So
Mm,
that's all there is in the area. Lean manufacturing cards. So the right tool, the right part, the
got
right
it.
fixture is in the right place at the right time. All of that kind of stuff. And that's why we're aerospace is our biggest market.
Yes, absolutely. I used to be I ran reactors on a carrier for a number of
Hmm,
years, and we always had to do the FOD walk down above and below decks. So I definitely
sure.
get it. Absolutely. Very cool. So walk us through a little bit. I mean, you have so much experience and so much knowledge. What do you think has been some of the keys to your success as a leader and manager?
I'm just a regular guy. I'm not the brightest guy in the world. I'm not the you know 20 hours a day guy, but I interact with people very well. I try to understand problems and solve problems because if you can do that, then someone will always have a need for you. I say I haven't sold anything in my life, but I've always been the business development and the sales and the top end side of the world, um, meaning the top line. And you just if you listen and see what people are looking for or where their problems are, then if you can solve those, then you know you'll always have work. You'll always have sales. You'll always have customers. You'll always have relationships. And I'm really big on relationships. Why go through all that work and do business with someone once? So especially at Pith, we are very much repeat customers. Our customers are word of mouth that we've been around almost 30 years, but the last 10 years, you know, people just call us. And we really don't have an outside sales force. We're working on all of that. And that's why I
Oh,
came
wow.
in to grow us. So I think I'm in the right place at the right time. And this is sort of fun. You know, it's putting all the stuff that I've done for the last 20 years into one place.
Very cool. So let's dive into that a little bit more. I mean, there's so many companies out there that don't have kind of an existing marketing or sales team and things going. They've just really been, you know, their lifeblood has been referrals and word of mouth. So what has kind of stimulated that transition from word of mouth to marketing and sales program?
And we're very much Pith follows that analogy. We had an investment group come in and buy the two former owners out almost 2 years
Okay.
ago now.
Uh-huh.
They brought me in to scale and take a family-run, paper-operated business to a scalable digital enterprise where we could grow. And obviously look at an exit down the road, but it was a very well-run business, but it was, you know, everything was on paper. Everything was word of mouth. There was no website before our team took over.
Wow. Okay.
There was, you know, very little marketing. Our salespeople were literally the owners that called on customers, big aerospace, you know, the Pratts, Pratt Sikorsky's, Hanwha's in this area. So there was no outside sales, for lack of a better term. So we're working on all that, so we can get to more customers and outside the aerospace world. What's 88% of our business is our top 20 customers. We only have about 45 customers. So
Wow.
yeah, we're trying to put the I'm trying to put the foundation in place so we can grow and grow sustainably.
That's an interesting topic right there. 88% of your revenue comes from your top 20 customers.
Yes.
So what are you, you know, if you look at, you know, 80/20 principle, right? The 80/20 principle would say you double down on your top 20 customers and, you know, maybe not weed out, but just not give as much attention to the other 20, 24. Or what are you guys doing with all of that? It sounded like you were going to maybe go in that direction a little bit.
And we can do more with the customers we have. And I apologize, there's a stack of boxes behind me. Those are actually marketing packages that have five little miniature scaled, almost toys of things that we're doing: a finished box, you know, a lean manufacturing cart, a foamed container that holds tools, um, a plastic HDPE cutout, which is just a kind of plastic, a thick plastic that's used in carts, things like that, that we're sending to our customers to show that, hey, we can do all this other stuff too. And it's just a fun way, and it was all scrap, so there's very little cost. So we had fun doing that, and those are going out right now. But to your point, you know, we need more customers too, and I
Mm,
don't want to get spread so thin that we have trouble, but um, our big customers know what we do, and we do exactly what they want, and we do it well. I need more diverse customers besides aerospace. Usually, in my experience, medical and firearms business or markets follow the aerospace. They try to be very lean, so we're talking to a couple of them. Um, but also, you know, more aerospace guys. I'm not going to ever turn away aerospace folks, but when all your customers are in one market, and like the last half of 2023, when the aerospace went down a little bit,
yeah.
you know, we took a hit. So like to diversify, but also, you know, add additional, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's where you're coming in and you're implementing now more of a sales program, sales and marketing, or just a sales team.
Yeah, you know what? I call our guys customer service reps, really, because
Hmm.
nobody goes out and sees new customers. I'm actually going a different route. We have 17 people here. That's it.
Oh,
And
wow.
there's five of us in the office and 12 guys out on the floor.
Yeah.
Uh, our top line, when we're doing well, our top and bottom line works when there's more people out there working.
Right.
So I'm going to try to keep us as lean in here as possible. So I'm outsourcing a lot of what I consider non-core,
Mm.
our HR. We only have, as I said, less than 20 people. So do I need a whole HR head? I don't think so.
Mm.
So we're looking at outsourcing that, and they'll take care of our payroll, uh, and our health insurance and stuff like that. So that'll be great. I want to hire more people out on the floor. So that's what we're looking for that type of individual, a craftsman, to help build more boxes, more carts, this, that, and the other.
So you're outsourcing then anything that's perhaps maybe a good way to put it, it's not critical to your value chain for clients.
Correct.
That
Absolutely.
path. Okay.
Well said.
Gotcha. And and the benefit of that for you, you're seeing that that's been able to increase efficiencies, reduce overall P&L.
Correct. Correct. And where I was going, and when I do that, I don't want to take the chance on hiring two salespeople, train them for 3 months. One leaves 3 months after that, and it takes 4 months for the other person to bring something in. I'm going the manufacturing rep route. I've got two that I've interviewed multiple times. I've got a couple more that I'm talking to, but they already have the existing accounts, whether it's aerospace, medical, firearms, or locomotive. I'm not sure I've said that before. That's the other sort of market we're playing with, because you have expensive, complex,
Mm.
heavy parts, and that's obviously right up our alley, because you have to be safe and to be smart in your manufacturing. You have to transport them, efficiently. So those guys already have those connections.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally, we can be up and running in 30 days, and we'll see. I have two meetings this week and one next week, and I think within 30 days, I think we can get some traction.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's exciting. That's
Yeah,
fantastic. Now, did you know that coming into this 7 months ago when you took over as CEO that that was kind of the direction you were going to be taking the company?
absolutely no idea.
Really? Okay.
and
Interesting.
and I've got to tell you, and it's fun. I've been C-level before, but never the CEO.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many things cross your desk that somebody has to take care of. We're very lean here in the sense that there's not a heck of a lot of middle management.
Mm.
So I'm trying to help groom some folks, and we have a great GM. We have one of the former owners here. One of the former owner's son is another one of our design engineers, and they're at capacity. So I'm sort of taking on a lot of things that a normal CEO wouldn't do, because it's a small company. And I know I've been in other small companies who wear a lot of hats. But as I said before, that's why, if I can outsource some of those non-core uh, responsibilities, and let them just do what they want to do, and then have those sales and manufacturing reps bring in business and sit with those guys, I think we can scale pretty quickly. And then I keep hiring out on the floor. And as a matter of fact, the HR folks that I outsource to are the ones that are doing all the onboarding and offboarding. So it's perfect.
Yeah, it is good. So one of the biggest reasons you're doing is obviously to scale more, but also to diversify and to not just be in aerospace, which is, you want to continue to grow that, but to go into these other medical, it sounds like firearm and locomotive industry. Were those the other main ones?
Correct.
Okay.
And if all the things I didn't know 6 months ago, like you just said,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Some other market may pop up, and that's why these reps are neat, because they're bringing in things that I didn't think of.
They have an outside, experience. Um, So how do you what's the compensation structure for if I'm a CEO listening to this, and because I've worked through consult many clients on this, what's the do we bring in-house salespeople, like you said, train them up, all that, or do we go to the manufacturing rep thing? What's the for you? I know that the one of the big things you talked about was not having to train somebody up and they leave. You have somebody who's an outside rep type thing. What's the commission structure look for someone who's in that kind of a rep position compared to an in-house salesperson.
Yeah, that's one of the bonuses I see. It's much cheaper. You're
Is it?
talking
Yeah.
5 to 15% of a net sale. So any taxes or other fees come off it. So if you're hiring, obviously, an internal person, even if they're on commission as a salesman,
Yeah.
if they're an employee of the company, there's the benefits and the burden of all of that.
Yeah.
So my math, and we'll see because we
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah. This
we
is new.
haven't done it yet. On
Yeah.
paper, it looks great, and so it's cheaper. But I also, as I said, I think it's much quicker. So if we make a mistake, I'll know that we're wrong and going in the wrong direction in 30, 60, 90 days versus hiring somebody, and I don't know where we are in 6 months.
Right. Because there's such a long up ramp, and these people already have the relationships with the decision
Right.
makers in your industry. Yeah.
So if we need to
That's
pivot, we'll
fantastic.
pivot.
Yeah. What a fantastic way to kind of ramp up your sales efforts quickly. Yeah.
And,
How did
and
you?
think about the regions. I mean, if I hire a sales guy, most likely it's going to be in the New England area, right? We're in
Right.
the middle of Connecticut. Rarely are you going to hire a salesperson who lives here and they're going to have connections in California, say, or Texas, big aerospace states.
Right.
Well, if you go manufacturing or sales reps, I'm calling one in California or I'm calling one in Texas. So
Got it.
regionally, it helps tremendously too.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's exciting. And you're ramping that up as you speak.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. What do you think will be your biggest challenges as you kind of ramp this up?
Yeah, I mean, that in itself is it's tough because first of all, those reps already have lines, right? So you have to make sure there's no contradiction or conflict of interest. You have to sell them on your product, and our product is actually pretty simple compared to the
Right.
businesses I've been in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jet
Yeah.
engines, additive
Yeah.
manufacturing. Hey, we're making boxes
Your
for God's
boxes,
sakes.
lean
So
manufacturing, a place for
it's a
everything and
beautiful
everything in a
thing.
place. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's no certification, no approval, no proof of concept and engineering and all of that. And we've made them over and over and over. So we've got it down. But the point of that is, we have to get them excited about our product. And we have to show them that, customers really want it and need it. And
Mm.
once we get over that hurdle, I think we're good. If you see our company, it looks like a very simple company, and it is pretty much. It's not bleeding edge technology or anything. We're making cases and boxes and crates and stuff to transport or house or store, those critical products for the aerospace world. But our product is it's nice to say that we can make it and make it over again, and it's relatively simple.
Yeah. So so when I think about, let's just say an aerospace manufacturing facility, right? They want to have these storage containers, the boxes for their gear to prevent FOD, all that kind of stuff. But and you said that out of your 44 whatever clients, 88% of your income comes from half of those clients. I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you have this facility. Once you have the boxes there, you have the storage containers for your tools or whatever that is. So is most of your recurring and repeat business then for them transporting to customer locations, their products?
Right.
Okay.
So a little bit of that and the change in the product. So if you're a Pratt Whitney, you know, F100 engine that goes on F-16s and F-15s, first of all, they go around the world to depots. I think when I was at Pratt, there were 30 countries, flying those planes and engines. Well, they each have depots. Well, now at the F-135, the JSF, the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter has the F-135 engine. So Pratt has another engine line, and it's going to have new boxes for all those different parts to go all those different places.
Mm,
Sikorsky brings on a different variant of one of their helicopters that they need new boxes. So you start with a box in a line, but then it changes. And that's what's great for us because now we make new boxes we design, and they may be very similar to a past box or
Uh-huh.
container or what have you. But a new engine line, alterations to the engine, so that changes the manufacturing line. So now it's new carts, all the above. So it's a dynamic. It's the OEM, so it's the new parts, and it's the MRO, so it's the rehab parts or the maintenance parts.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So you guys are diversifying to help with stability and growth opportunity, and you're scaling. What else is in the future for Pith Products? Anything else significant?
Yeah, as we are just talking about that regional
Hmm.
drive, I just did a study on, what's it take to set up a satellite. So if we have a customer that's outside of Seattle and Boeing's our main driver there, but they have all their tier ones and tier twos within 50 miles, like we do here in the middle of Connecticut in Aerospace Alley.
Yeah.
What happens if I set up a facility out there? Because you don't want to send a $300 container across country. So what if we set up a satellite there, or in Dallas by Lockheed, or
Yeah.
where have you? So we're looking at that, and that might be a great way to scale. We're also looking at acquisitions. Our man or our investment group, sharp guys that are always looking for good investments. So we might scale that way too. So we're looking at a bunch of different initiatives on ways to grow.
Awesome. Very good. Let me take a few minutes, Tim, and just kind of summarize some of my key takeaways. One is outsource. What's been very effective for you guys is to identify what is your critical path value chain, and then outsource everything outside of that. So you're doing a lot of HR administrative work, and that's allowed you to have improved margins, increase in efficiencies, and really allowed your team to focus on what is most important in your company. The other one was as you're scaling and growing the company, you've identified along that same path is manufacturing sales reps. So outside sales reps versus internal. And the benefits there really is that they already have relationships with your key decision makers. So they can help you scale very quickly versus hiring somebody, putting them through your sales process, and then maybe 3 to 6 months later, they have a few leads, but really not as much traction. So the other I thought was just good is really looking at your space, and you guys have really focused on aerospace. Well, diversification into multiple industries, such that when you do have lags in industries, like you did in the Q4 there, you have sustainability through those dips and also more growth potential. Obviously, it'll be a little bit more challenging, perhaps. I guess a box is a box, but still, your core business is still the same. And then you're also looking to grow through acquisitions. Tim, if there was one takeaway that you'd really like the audience to absorb from our time together today, what would that be?
You know what? Don't have one mindset. I came into this position, you know, guns blazing. I'm the CEO. I'm gonna take control of all this stuff I think I know. Completely different within 30 days. So you
Yeah,
have to understand where you are. No preconceived notions. You have to evaluate the talent you have. You have to evaluate the markets you're in. Um, and I really in very different position than I would have thought I'd be in 6 months in. So, you got to be adaptive as most people know, but
yeah.
open-minded.
Gotcha. Yeah, very good. Be open-minded. Awesome. Well, hey Tim, if any of our listeners wanted to reach out and get a hold of you for any reason, potentially to do something with your company, or questions on leadership management stuff we talked about, what's the best way to do that?
Hey, our website is pithproducts.com.
Cool.
My email is timb@pithproducts.com. Very
Awesome.
simple. We're all over the web, but we'd love to hear from people and see what we can solve for them.
Awesome. Great. Tim, thank you again for being on the show. This was fantastic. We got into some really good stuff.
Thanks. It was a pleasure being here.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation specifically on outside sales, internal, and everything. So thanks again. For the audience, for the listeners, please hit the like and subscribe button and help us spread the word about what we're doing. We're helping the next generation of CEOs and leaders be that much more effective. And with that, this is your host, Patrick Rogers, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks a lot.